දයාබර දූ දරුවන ඔබේ ඉංග්‍රීසි දැනුම වැඩි දියුණු කිරීම සඳහා අපි ඔබට අත දෙන්නෙමු. ඔබ සඳහාම සකසා ඇති මේ සරල ඉංග්‍රීසි පාඩම් මාලාව තුලින් ඔබේ දැනුම තවත් වැඩි කරගන්න. ලෝකයේ අනෙකුත් රටවල් සමග අත්වැල් බැඳ ගන්න අපි ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කතා කරමු.
How would you describe people? Well, that's interesting. You always meet people. So, can you recognize the person who wears long earrings? The person who wears a moustache? A person who wears a beard? A person who has white hair? A person who has her hair tied in a knot? A person who has black hair? A person who looks sad? A person who has her hair loose and long? A person who wears a necklace? Yes, when we look at people, these are ways we recognize them or remember them. By the way that they look and what they have on their face, their necks, or on the top of their head. And I'm sure you can look around you and notice things about people, what they do, what they look like. Sometimes you may take a ride on a train. In the train, you have an opportunity to observe all sorts of people. You can describe them. Would you like to try and describe people that you see on a train? The person who is directly in front of you, the person who's seated at your right, and then on your left, the people who are beside you on either side, left or right, seated close to you. What do the people look like who are standing up in the train? How many are there who are standing? You have plenty of opportunity to describe what those people look like. You would talk not only about their faces, or whether they have moustaches or beards or none at all, whether they're clean shaven, whether they have long hair or short hair, but you can also describe what they wear, the color of their trousers, and even the color of the shirts that they wear. Are they wearing short trousers? Do they wear glasses or spectacles? Do they wear sunglasses? Yes, these are many ways that you can describe people that you observe while riding on a train. Try it sometime and write down your impressions. You might find that to be a very amusing, even interesting occupation. Well, you're going to be learning about describing people, recognizing people now. So pay attention and watch and listen carefully.
Hello. Today we're going to talk about people. Do you know who these famous people are? Take a look at these pictures. Who is this? This is Mahatma Gandhi. And this is a picture of Adolf Hitler. You probably know this one. This is one of our old presidents, President Premadasa. Here is a picture of Nelson Mandela. I'm sure everybody knows this one. Who is this? Sanath Jayasuriya. Now let's see how we describe people. To To describe people, we use words like tall, short, fat, thin. You can say, he was a tall man. She was a fair lady. What about their face? We can describe people by describing their face. We can use words like thin, wide, round. We can talk about, if it's a man, we can say he has a moustache, which is he has hair above his upper lip. Or you could say he has a beard. You can also talk about people's hair. Some people have long hair, curly hair, straight hair, short hair. Some people have no hair at all. What do you call them? They are bald. Some people have gray hair. Now, your grandmother or your grandfather, they probably have gray hair. Let's look at one example of how to describe a famous person. Let's go back to Sanat Jayasuriya. What can you say about him? Sanat Jayasuriya is tall and dark. He usually wears a big smile on his face, and he is quite well built. He is also bald. Now let's focus on nationalities. What is your nationality? Since we live in Sri Lanka, we call ourselves Sri Lankan. Let's look at some other countries and what people who live in those countries are called. Look at these people who are in the United Nations. As you can see, there are several countries. For example, here is Britain, and this person is British. Here is Spain. A person from Spain is Spanish. If you notice, words like British and Spanish end with ISH. There are some other forms, countries like America and India. What do you call people who come from those countries? America is American. India, you say Indian. For example, Sachin Tendulkar is an Indian. We end those words with an AN. There's a third group. What about China, Japan? People coming from those countries, they're called Chinese, Japanese. Those words, they end with ESE. As always, there are some special cases that you have to be aware of. There are countries like France. What do you call people who live in France? They are French. What about Switzerland? People who live in Switzerland are Swiss. People who live in Greece, they are Greek. There are many other such different ways of telling people's nationalities. Do you know the difference between while and during? We use while before a sentence. Example, while he was eating breakfast, the telephone rang. We use during before a noun. For example, during breakfast, the telephone rang. Or we can also use during before a noun phrase. What is a noun phrase? It's a phrase that you use to describe a noun. You could say, during the journey, during class, my mobile phone rang. Let's move on to the word with. Now, with can be used to describe people. Remember how we described people earlier? We said they were tall, short, thin, so on. How do you describe people using the word with? Look at this example. Now, the police are looking for a missing girl. She has long black hair and glasses. If you use the word with for this sentence, we can say, the police are looking for a missing girl with long black hair and glasses. Do you see the difference? Previously, we had two sentences, which we combined using the word with, and then we got the police are looking for a missing girl with long black hair and glasses.
Let's learn some words. Yes, the word recognize. Recognize. What do you understand by that word? Recognize means to know and identify a person you meet. If it is a person with a smile that you meet, you recognize that person could be your friend. And if it is a person who is your friend, you recognize him or her by her appearance. Recognize. To know, identify, and also feel either friendly with or cautious in the company of. Because if you recognize that a person is not friendly, is rude, then that person you don't want to meet and deal with. So you recognize a person who is unsuitable as a companion. So you can recognize people in many ways. The other word is pleased. Pleased. You might want to refer in your dictionary and find out the exact meaning of pleased. If you're pleased, that means you are happy at the result or achievement. So, if you have passed your examinations well, you would say, I am pleased with the results of my examination. That means you're happy with, contented with. You have achieved something and therefore you are pleased. So that's a good word. Learn it, get to use it, and enjoy using it. Okay, that's it for now. Bye.